Hello, amigos, and welcome to another episode of Inside the Ropes with Coach Mario. Coach Mario, owner and head coach of Warriors Pride Boxing Academy here in Miami, Florida. Well, it's a beautiful Saturday, clear skies here in Miami. On my way to the park, we got one more week to prepare for our USA Boxing Sanction event in Key West on the 27th. I have three of my fighters that are going to be competing. They are AJ Jimenez at 142. We got Paul Sotolongo, who's going to be fighting at 132. And we have Andrew Finlay, who's fighting at 135. These guys are going to be making their debut. First fight for them, so it counts, all right? Goes on their record. But anyway, guys, looking forward to training them today. But anyway, we're going to talk really briefly today, this morning, about the sideshow. Now, I've been calling it a sideshow. I've been calling it a circus show. I've been calling it a freak show between Deion Haney and Ryan Garcia. And let me tell you something. What happened last night did not surprise me, or yesterday afternoon, late afternoon here in Eastern time in South Florida, did not surprise me at all. I mean, Ryan Garcia is a pretentious little, spoiled brat who has everything in his life. He has youth, he has the looks, he has the following, he has millions of dollars, yet poor little me. This guy is, I don't think he's crazy, or he's I would probably call him a head case. He's a spoiled brat. He wants to do whatever the hell he wants. He mentioned on one of these selfie type of recordings that he's uploaded to social media, that he says, well, there's been a lot of guys going out there fighting drunk. And yeah, it is true. It is true. But guy, this is a world championship fight. And what boggles the mind is this generation of fighters, when given the opportunity to become world champions, they don't see that as something important. They don't see that as something great. And I want your opinion regarding this. Is it because the organizations suck and they're a bunch of corrupt, SOBs, or is it because there's no interest in the belts nowadays? Back in the day, and I'm always saying back in the day because it's were the glory days, guys. You would give your right hand, not literally, in order to get a title fight. A title shot was the greatest achievement a fighter, a boxer could have. Dispute a world title. You know how much boxers nowadays and in the past have actually strived to get something like that, and this little punk throws it all away like nothing. He doesn't care about it. So I think this is the end of Ryan Garcia. In my opinion, it should be the end. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there, morbid fans, that want to see this guy spiral out of control and do all kinds of crazy shit. This guy has got a bad future, not only inside the ring, but outside the ring. I mean, if this guy freaks out and has so many so-called mental health issues when he's got it all, and that's the shit, man. That's the thing nowadays. You see these guys that have it all, they're head cases. They're head cases. But going back to the fight, what does it take away from Deion Haney and his so-called greatness? I mean, just the mere fact that Deion Haney chose Ryan Garcia, somebody who was never fought at 140. I think he fought one fight at 140. Who's not supposed to fight Deion Haney, who is not a mandatory to fight Deion Haney. That is Sander Martin. Choose Ryan Garcia tells you that Deion Haney is picking and choosing who he wants to fight against. all this smoke and mirrors, all this rhetoric, all of this narrative regarding Subriel Matias ducking and Devin Haney's fans, spreading Bill Haney's, lies and narratives about possibility of a hardcore individual who was raised in one of the worst barrios of Puerto Rico, who's been shot, stabbed, been in jail, afraid of pillow-fisted, fleet-footed fighter is ludicrous. That's the reason why he chose Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney chose Ryan Garcia because why? Number one, he doesn't sell. Number two, nobody cares about seeing his fights. He needs a good dancing partner, like I said before, and now he chose his head case. So that's going to take away from his so-called achievements. And when I hear a lot of people say, well, Devin Haney, look what he's done at his age. Okay, let's look at what he's done at his age. He hasn't knocked out anybody in 6 years, guys. Last knockout was some Mexican dude in Tijuana, someplace like that. Some setup fight. His first fights were setups. Do I take away merits from Devin Haney saying that? No. He's an excellent boxer. He's just insipid, boring fighter who does not have the personality to attract. He wants to be like Floyd Mayweather. He's a Floyd Mayweather wannabe. And, his knockout, like I said before, was 6 years ago. His last knockout. So he has no power. He fought, a guy, a one-hit wonder in Cambosos, who he beat easily twice. Cambosos, had a great night against Teofimo Lopez. But, Teofimo Lopez, he's lost, in my opinion, his last two fights. He lost against Jermaine Ortiz and he lost against Sandro Martin. So Teofimo Lopez, not all that he's supposed to be. His greatest achievement was fighting Vasil Lomachenko. His greatest victory, in my opinion. All right? Now, going back to Haney and what he's lost as far as credibility as a champion for those who actually analyze fights. All right? When he fought Lomachenko, what does people say? What is the major take from that fight? A lot of people say, that Lomachenko would have started earlier. He should have won that fight. And a lot of people believe that still he won that fight. That Lomachenko beat Devin Haney, who was a weight bully, who, gains maybe 25 pounds after the weigh-in. The weigh-in before the fight, the day before the fight. Lomachenko's a very short guy. He's actually a 130-pounder who's ballooned up to 135, actually 126. I don't remember how much he fought in the Olympics. I believe it was 135, but he was already a grown-ass man fighting 17-year-olds. Vasil Lomachenko was. That's why he has 2 gold medals. That's 8 years of amateur boxing, more than 8 years. All right? So, his greatest achievement was, talking about Devin Haney, beat an overrated one-hit wonder, George Cambosos, twice. A razor-thin decision versus Vasil Lomachenko. And beat a flat-footed fighter as, Regis Prograis. So, when you tell me, look at everything he's achieved at his young age. Yeah, he's a young guy, but don't tell me he's achieved more than anybody else. Look at Salvador Sanchez, who he achieved at 23 years old. All the people, all the monsters he beat at 23 years old. All the champions, real champions. Not the George Cambosos type. Not the Regis Prograis type. I mean, superstars. Beat Wilfredo Gomez, knocked the hell out of Wilfredo Gomez, beat the hell out of Azuma Nelson, fought an unbelievable fighter like Juan Laporte, and so on and so forth. What about Wilfred Benitez? A lot of people don't even know who Wilfred Benitez is. A lot of Haney fans. Ask a Haney fan. Do me a favor, guys. Ask a Haney fan if they know who Wilfred Benitez is. Ask a Haney fan if they know who Salvador Sanchez is or was. Ask a Haney fan if they know who Wilfredo Gomez was. 99% I guarantee they don't know who that was because they're a bunch of casuals. Haney fans are among the most ignorant. I'm not talking about everybody, guys, all right? So don't get your panties up in a bunch. But do me this favor and ask a Haney fan if they know. They would have to Google it in order to find out who any of these great legends are. All right? So his achievement, you got to put an asterisk next to his name as far as achievements. He's a young guy. He's very talented. I'm not taking anything away from Devin Haney as far as talent. But in all honesty, he is not all that he's, all that great. If you see him fight, and he's very much like Richardson Hitchens, in my opinion. They're very similar in styles. And you saw with Richardson Hitchens, what he had to face against Gustavo Lemos, a come forward, relentless pressure fighter. I don't think the Haneys want anything to do with a fighter of that caliber. They don't want anything to do with a P Cruz. They don't want anything to do with a Suriel Matias. And I'll tell you something more. I think that P Cruz versus Haney will totally shut him out. Because Haney's a lot bigger. Because P Cruz is a short guy, doesn't know how to cut off the ring. He just follows you around. He just throws those overhand shots. That's all he's got. All right? Body shots, some body shots. He got to corner you in order to throw those shots. Haney's too fast for him. I think it would beat him easily. Unanimous decision. I'm talking about Haney beating P Cruz. Now, with Suriel Matias, a whole different beast, guys. This guy not only fights on the inside, knows how to fight in the clinch. If Devin Haney tries to hold him, that would be all she wrote for Devin Haney. Suriel Matias knows how to cut off the ring. He's a great counterpuncher. He's very fast on his feet. He's very fast with his hands. I think he would stop Haney. I think it would actually be a competitive fight for the first 4 or 5 rounds. And then once Matias starts chipping away and hitting those arms and hitting those gloves and hitting that head and hitting the side, and then when Haney starts trying to grab and clinch, that's all she wrote. I'm pretty sure Haney would be knocked out. That is my opinion. That's the reason why the Haneys spread so much false narrative about, Matias not wanting to fight the Haney, the Dream Haney. All right. So, what is the future for Ryan Garcia? I think Ryan Garcia should go see a shrink or AA. Go and find out what the hell's going on with him. He, like I said before, he's a spoiled brat, in my opinion. My wife, I was talking to her last night. I was showing her some of the videos. She goes, "Oh, poor thing. I feel sorry for him." I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for a multimillionaire who's actually sabotaging his own career. He's a spoiled brat, doesn't want to listen to anybody, and whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? It's his own fault. I think that's it for him. I think that the blame goes around in that team. You can spread that blame around, and one of his fighters to go in 3 pounds overweight, and then in the post-fight interview say, "Oh, you got it. This is your night. This is your night." What kind of shit is that, bro? Hold them liable. When a fighter has so many temptations and so many tendencies to do other stuff, in order for him to have that discipline, they have to have somebody they look up to. And it's obvious Ryan Garcia doesn't look up to anybody, doesn't respect anybody. doesn't respect the rule of law, doesn't respect his dad. His dad is, I don't even know his dad, but apparently he has no influence on his deranged son. So I predict a very bad future for this kid, inside and outside the ring. I think his career in boxing should be over. And I'm going to tell you something. It would not surprise me that he doesn't show up to the fight tonight. That somehow he doesn't show up. Time for fighting, comes up with some kind of lame ass excuse that he's sick, that he got poisoned, food poisoning or some shit like that. Some kind of lame excuse, and the fight is off. I would not be surprised, because if he steps inside that ring, the way he is, the way he has prepared, he's gonna get an ass whooping, because he brought it upon himself. You don't do shit like that. You don't disrespect boxing that way. You don't disrespect your fans that way. You don't disrespect your opponent that way, the champion. You don't throw away the possibility of becoming a champion and acting like a little 5-year-old kid. You don't do that. He's an embarrassment to the sport. This guy should not be anywhere near allowed to be near boxing anymore. But I know how the corrupt business is right now. Money talks, bullshit walks. Look at Canelo. How can Canelo still have all those belts? But anyway, guys, that is my opinion of what's going to happen tonight. Like I called it before this whole charade and this whole, freak show, sideshow, circus show, whatever you want to call it. Like Triple G used to call it, big drama show. Guys, I called it ninth round knockout. Now I don't think it's going to even get that far. I think this guy's going to quit again. All right? He's going to quit again. This kid doesn't deserve to be in the sport of boxing, and the sooner you get him out of there, the better it is for the sport. It's a black eye to the sport. But the sooner you get the likes of Oscar de la Hoya out of boxing, the better it is. Those guys are corrupt lowlifes. And this is a guy that used to be a fighter, man. Shit. It's unbelievable. Anyway, guys, that's all for now. I'm almost arriving to my training area, Tropical Park. I'm going to do some sprints and maybe 4 miles. By the way, I feel a lot better. You can tell, little by little, God is helping me. I have the support of my family, my wife, and you guys. Remember to share, like, and subscribe, guys. A lot of you guys are watching and sharing, but you're not subscribing. It's free of charge. Remember to hit that like button. Pretty soon we're going to have memberships also available. So we're going to talk about that in the future, the very, very near future. But anyway, this is all for now. So until next time, this is Coach Mario, owner, head coach of Warriors Pride Boxing Academy, saying hasta la vista. God bless you all, and peace.